Hello everyone, so in this class we are going to learn how we can configure the OSPF. If you see here, I have the router R1 and I have the router R2, and here is the IP schema which we are going to use in between the two router, and let's use the loopback. In this router I am going to use the loopback. Let me write loopback 1, and we will give the IP schema as 1.1.1.1/8. Okay, I will duplicate this one and I will keep this here, and here I will give the loopback 2. This one is a loopback 2, and here we are going to give the IP as 2.2.2.2. okay, so let me power on the router. I will power on both the router, and then we are going to do the configuration. So what configuration we are going to do here? We are going to do the OSPF configuration. Okay, so let me take the CLI of this device. I will take the console of R1. This is a console of R1, and I am going to take the console of R2 also. This is a console of R2, and here I am going to do the configuration. This is a putty. I open the putty. I taken the console of the R1. Now I am going to do the basic configuration. Host name already we have, so let me assign the IP. We have the interface fast Ethernet 0x0, so I am going to give IP address whatever IP we have here. Like if you see here, we plan to use 192.168.12.0, so I am going to use 192.168.12.1 space 255.255.0, and we are going to write here no shut. Okay, so I assign the IP address to this interface. I will create one loopback, as we are using loopback 1 here, so I will create loopback 1. I am going to assign the IP address here. So this is the IP we are going to use for loopback 1. Okay, so here IP address configuration is done. If you want to check, you can write do show IP interface brief, and you can see here we have the two interface. One is a fast Ethernet 0x0, another one is a loopback 1. So now we need to do the router OSPF. We need to configure the OSPF. So first thing we will write router OSPF 1. Okay, I am using the process ID 1. After that I will write network and the network ID. So what is the network ID? Network ID is 192.168.12.0, this one. Okay, and after that wildcard mask 0.0.0.255, and I am going to use the area 0, and I need to advertise the loopback also, so I will write 1.0.0.0, and we need to write the wildcard mask 0.255.255.255, and then we will write area 0. Okay, any confusion here? Just we need to write the wildcard mask. Wildcard mask is the opposite of subnet mask. Like in the class C, you have 3 times 255, 1 times 0. So we write 3 times 0, 1 times 255. Same here in the class A, we have 1 times 255, remaining is 0. So 1 time we write 0, remaining we write 255. Okay, so we done the OSPF configuration here. I can exit. I can save the configuration. So here in the R1 we configure the OSPF configuration is finished. Now we need to do the R2. So in the R2 we can go to R2, okay, console of the router 2, and we can start the configuration. I will go to the global configuration mode. If you see, I will give here host name R2, and I will assign the IP address to the interface fast Ethernet 0x0. I will write IP address, and we are going to use here 192.168.12.2, 255.255.255.0, and we will write here no shut. Okay, and we need to create one loopback here, so I will create loopback 2, and we need to assign the IP address 2.2.2.2 and give space right 255.0.0.0. So with this command, what we done, we assign the IP address to the interface. You can see here we configured the IP address to this interface, and we configured the IP address to this interface. Now we need to enable the OSPF. So how we will enable? We will write router OSPF1, okay, network, and network ID will be the 192.168.12.0. Then wildcard mask we need to write. After that area 0, we are using area 0. After that we will write network, and what is the network ID? 2.0.0.0, wildcard mask 0.255.255.255 space area 0. I am using area 0. Okay, so now I done this one. After that you can save the configuration and you can wait, and you can write show IP route, and you can see here you are getting the route from the OSPF. Okay, I am in the R2, and you can see this is the O is nothing but OSPF. You can see here O is nothing but OSPF. You are learning this route from the OSPF. If you see, this is the network, and if you see this one 192.168.12.1, if you want to send the traffic to this network, you need to forward the traffic to 192.168.12.1, and from this much time this route is up, and you can see here you have the leaving interface is fast Ethernet 0/0. If you want to check here also, you can check here. You can write show IP route, okay, and here you can see if you want to send anything, you need to send to this interface, leaving interface. Your leaving interface is this one, and from this much time this route is up, and this is the next hop. Okay, and if you want to ping, you can ping also like 192.160, or let me ping what I will ping 2.2.2.2, and see reply is coming. Okay, and if you go here in the R2 also, if you want to ping here, you can ping to 1.1.1.1. Reply is coming. If you want to check show IP OSPF neighbor table, you can see neighbor ID is this one. I am in the R2. And I configure here the OSPF. So when I write show IP OSPF neighbor, you will get the neighbor ID this one. Priority is 1. State is full, and this guy is a DR. From this much, this is a dead timer, and this is the address of the interface, whatever IP we have, and this is the interface. If you want to check show IP OSPF neighbor, we check here. What else we can check here? If you see, I will write here, let me write show IP OSPF. Here if you press question mark, you will have the option what else command you can check here. You have this much command. You can write show IP OSPF also. If you write show IP OSPF, you will get the router ID. This is the router ID of the R2. Okay, if you want to check the router ID, you will write show IP OSPF, and you will get the router ID. And what else you can write show IP OSPF neighbor. We check with this command, we will get the neighbor table. If you want to check the routing table, you will write show IP OSPF, show IP route. If you want to check OSPF only, write OSPF. So you will see only OSPF route here. If you want to check like what we can say, show IP OSPF interface brief. If you want to check only whatever interface is present in the OSPF, you will write show IP OSPF interface brief. With this command, what you will check whatever interface is present in the OSPF. So you need to write show IP OSPF interface brief, this command. So this command will show you whatever interface is present in the OSPF. So these two interfaces are present in the OSPF. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any doubts, write in the